7:38, Big 550 KTRS. Every Thursday we check in with Kathy Helbig. Good time to go talk a little real estate as the markets continue to heat up. Good morning, Kathy Helbig.
Good morning.
What are we talking about?
We're going to talk about unrepresented buyers, what they don't know that might hurt them.
What they don't know that will kill them.
Could be.
That for
could
sale
be.
by owner.
For sale by owner,
Or
builders
builder.
calling the listing agent.
Oh, wait, are we talking buyers or sellers?
We're talking buyers.
Oh,
Buyers, the people who are
Okay.
buying. Okay.
Yeah. So, the language of real estate's confusing to a lot of people because an agent wears a lot of different hats. So you hear about listing agents, buyer's agents, dual agents, sub-agency, all of that stuff.
Right.
The consumer doesn't understand it. So basically, you drive by a house, you see it, you pick up the phone, you call the name on the sign, set up an appointment to see it, go to a bunch of open houses because at this point, you're not really serious yet. You're kind of starting to think about things. You don't really want to bug an agent. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. So a lot of times people get into a situation where they're have an appointment with an agent to go see the house. They walk in, they love it. You kind of fawn about the house. You start talking a little bit too much about your financial situation. Do you need to sell a house? Do you not need to sell a house? Motivations. I'm getting a divorce. I need to find a house. That type of thing.
Right.
All of that is a direct ear to the seller. So you are not being represented by the buyer that lets you in, by the agent that lets you in that house. And unfortunately, you could be setting yourself up for an issue with an agent if you decide a month down the line that you want to buy that house. Now there's something called procuring cause that listing agent can throw out there in Missouri real estate law that basically claims you and says, I'm the one who was the procuring reason why this person is interested in this house, and now they're bringing a buyer agent in, and we don't want to pay them their commission. So it can mess up the deal.
So you're paying for somebody who's working against you.
Yes.
By law.
You can be, yes. Yes. And you have the right to hire an agent if you want, but it gets in the way of the agent's relationships and the compensating factors when you have already started down the road with one agent and then switched to another. Most people don't know that.
Right.
Same thing with open houses. If you're working with an agent, walk into an open house and tell that agent, I'm working with an agent. You don't have to give a bunch of information,
Right.
but at least it's noted that you have representation.
Should you put your fingers up as a cross and say back?
Kind of. We actually
Back off.
kind of give you like a little card or a pass thing that when you walk in, you just kind of be like, hey, this is my agent. And then they kind of
Right.
back off. And they might take our information and call us to follow up. A good listing agent would.
Right.
And not saying that you can't have a transaction because dual agency is a big buzzword with a lot of people. Some people don't mind it. Some people completely want to stay away from it. And that's where one agent is representing both sides. And it is a little dicey because you have two opposite goals that you're trying to attain as
Right.
the buyer and the seller. And that agent in the middle has very, very strict rules that they cannot step over the line on for either side. You can't give either party any type of edge over the other in negotiations, which is really tough when you've already built up a relationship with one side and not the other.
Right. And they're getting paid twice for that.
They can be. Because commission is, and that's another misnomer that people have. Commission is factored in the beginning with the seller. The seller pays all the commission. Whether there's an agent or not, that seller is making the same amount of commission. So you are not necessarily saving money to go call the listing agents and think you're going to negotiate. That's up to that listing agent. They've already got a contract that says they're being paid X, whether there's an agent or not involved.
Right.
If there is an agent involved, then they do have to share some of their commission. And that's the same at new construction. People think that they can walk into a new construction development and not have agent representation and save money on the bottom line. But what they don't understand is these builders are already factoring in the percentage of times that they have an agent representation contract.
Right.
And so that's all factored into their master budget for the year across the board. So if they say, hey, there's 56% of the time we have agents on there, so now we know we've got that commission involved. That's part of the cost on 100% of our deals.
So
Just spread it
the
across.
agent commission is already built into the
Already
house.
built in.
So it's already built into the house. Why not take advantage of it
Exactly.
and hire
Have an
someone?
agent.
Because the same as like a listing agent on the sign, that builder representative is representing the builder.
Plot thickens.
Yes, it does.
See, that's why you call Kathy Helbig. How's the market?
The market is getting crazy again right now. Lots of people putting new inventory on. So if you are a buyer out there, call us because we have a whole bunch of houses that people don't know about yet that are coming on the market.
You got the Helbig list, the special
We have the
Helbig
Helbig list, and we're tied into a bunch of other lists out there, too.
That is Kathy Helbig, 314-276-SOLD. Great information. Also, KathyHelbigGroup.com. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
743, Big 550, KTRS.